Sometimes life doesn't test you with storms or tragedy. It tests you with silence, with patience, with how long you can hold on when love starts to fade behind walls of pride and comfort. For Jose Daniel, that test came wrapped inside an old mattress. It all began on a cloudy afternoon when his father, Vicente Garciaga, a wealthy but wise man, called him into the family's worn-out country house. Vicente wasn't sick, nor was he dying, but something in his eyes felt final, like a man who'd already seen the end of a story. Everyone else was still reading. "Son," he said quietly, "if a woman truly loves you, she will sleep on the ground with you and still feel rich. But if she only loves your money, even a golden bed won't make her happy." Jose smiled, thinking his father was exaggerating. He was young, in love, and blinded by it. His wife, Damaris, was beautiful. The kind of beauty that made people look twice. She had grace, confidence, and dreams bigger than their world. But Vicente didn't trust her, so he decided to give them a test disguised as a gift. On their wedding day, he offered them an old, faded mattress. Nothing else. No money, no house, no inheritance, just that. Inside the mattress, however, he hid a fortune. Bills carefully folded, stitched beneath the lining, invisible to anyone who didn't believe in looking deeper. He told Jose, "Start from nothing. Build your life with her, not with my wealth. When the time is right, the truth will reveal itself." At first, Damaris tried. She smiled, cooked, cleaned, pretended to be happy in the tiny room they rented. But nights grew longer, colder. The mattress sagged like their faith in each other. "Why do we live like this?" she asked one night, her voice sharp and tired. "We could have so much more. You're the son of a rich man." Jose answered softly, "Because I need to know what we're worth without it." She laughed bitterly. "You can't live on love, Jose. Not forever." The next morning, she packed her clothes. She left behind only one thing, the old mattress. When Jose returned home to find her gone, he sank to the floor, broken. His world, his marriage, everything had collapsed in a single choice. He rushed to his father's house, desperate, angry. "You were wrong, Dad," he said. "You pushed her away. She left because of your test." Vicente didn't shout. He didn't defend himself. He just looked at his son and said 6 words that made Jose's blood freeze. The money was inside the mattress. For a second, Jose couldn't breathe. He stood there, the words echoing in his head like a cruel joke. "What?" "The fortune," Vicente repeated. "The one I saved for you. It was sewn inside the mattress I gave you both." Jose's heart stopped. Then she threw it away. They rushed into the car, driving through streets, alleys, markets, searching for the old mattress, for any sign of where it could have gone. And then, at the corner of an abandoned building, they saw it. A homeless woman was carrying it, dragging it through the dust, her clothes torn, her face hidden under a faded scarf. Jose ran toward her, shouting, "Miss, please wait, that mattress, it's mine." The woman turned, startled. "Yours? They gave it to me. I didn't steal anything." Jose tried to explain. "There was a misunderstanding. Please, I'll pay you. Anything you want." She looked at him with calm, tired eyes, the kind of eyes that had seen too many promises from men with wallets. "Pay me," she said slowly. "You rich people think everything can be bought, but not this piece of my dignity." Vicente approached her gently. "Please, it's not about the money. My son's future depends on it." The woman's hands trembled. She hesitated, then nodded slowly. "If it means that much to you, take it." Jose reached into his pocket, pulling out a thick envelope. "Here, at least let me pay you something." But she stepped back. "No, I don't want your money. I have enough with what I carry. My peace." She left quietly, disappearing into the alley. For a moment, neither Jose nor Vicente spoke. The silence felt heavier than gold. Vicente turned to his son, his voice trembling with pride. "You see, son." She owns nothing. Yet she's richer than your wife ever was. As the sun set behind the broken buildings, Jose looked down at the old mattress, torn, stained, but suddenly sacred. He didn't just find a lost fortune that day. He found something far greater, a stranger who had nothing but gave everything. The next morning, Jose Daniel couldn't stop thinking about her, the woman who had refused his money. He had met hundreds of people in his life, but never someone who walked away from $1,000 like it meant nothing. She was still in his mind when he walked into the quiet cafe on the corner. He ordered coffee but didn't drink it. He just stared through the fogged glass, thinking. Who was she? What kind of person chooses honor over survival? That question wouldn't let him rest. So that same evening, he went looking for her. He found her sitting under an old bridge, her back against a wall painted with graffiti and time. The mattress, that same worn, faded mattress, was beside her like a trusted friend. Jose hesitated, then approached. She looked up before he could say a word. "I told you," she said softly. "It's not for sale." He smiled. "I didn't come to buy it. I came to thank you." She studied him for a long moment, then laughed quietly. "Thank me? For what?" "For being the only person who didn't try to take something from me," he said. The woman, Alejandra, as he would later learn, tilted her head slightly, her eyes dark but kind. "You must be very grateful. That was a lot of money." He froze. "How do you know that?" She shrugged, looking out toward the street. "I've been around long enough to know what people fight for. Love? No. Peace? Rarely. Money? Always." He didn't know whether to feel ashamed or impressed. "So," he asked carefully, "why didn't you keep it?" Alejandra looked at him, her eyes soft but unshaken. "Because it wasn't mine," she said simply, "and because not everything you find is meant to be kept." For a moment, the world around them seemed to go quiet. Only the sound of cars in the distance and the slow heartbeat of understanding between two people from different worlds. Jose reached into his coat, took out a small envelope. "Please, at least take this. You deserve it." But she shook her head again. "I don't want your money. I want to live one more day knowing I didn't sell what's left of my soul." Something broke inside him. All his life, Jose had believed dignity was a privilege of the rich. That day, he saw it shining in the dirt, wearing torn shoes and speaking through a trembling but fearless voice. "Then let me do something for you," he said softly. "Anything." Alejandra's expression changed, not suspicious, but weary. "No one helps for free." "I do," Jose replied, "because you did." He offered her a ride. She refused. He offered food. She hesitated. But when the night wind turned colder, he quietly said, "I can give you a place to rest. No conditions, no questions." After a long silence, she nodded. That night, Jose brought her home. His father wasn't there, away on business. When Alejandra stepped inside the house, she stopped at the door. The warm light, the soft carpet, the smell of bread, things she hadn't felt in years. "You can stay as long as you need," he said. "But first, there's a shower upstairs. You'll find clothes inside. They might be a little big, but they're clean." Her eyes filled with tears she refused to let fall. "Thank you," she whispered. When she came down later, Jose didn't recognize her at first. Her hair was clean and shiny, her face gentle, her eyes alive again. The scars of the street were still there, faint, quiet, but now surrounded by light. He smiled. "You look different." She smiled back. "You look the same." He laughed. "No one has told me that in years." But beneath the laughter, there was something else, a quiet tenderness that neither of them knew how to name. Then the phone rang. It was Vicente. "How are you, son?" "I'm fine, Dad." "And your wife?" There was a pause. "She left," Jose said, "and I think That's for the best." Vicente sighed on the other end. "Then maybe now you'll see that losing her wasn't a punishment. It was freedom." Before hanging up, Vicente added softly, "Kindness will bring you more wealth than inheritance ever could." When Jose turned, Alejandra was standing by the window, her hands folded, watching the night sky. "Why do you trust me so easily?" she asked. "Because you could have stolen from me," he said. "But you didn't." She looked down, whispering, "You don't know who I really am." He stepped closer. "Then tell me." She shook her head. "No, it's safer for you if you don't." He saw something flicker in her eyes. Fear, maybe, or guilt. And then she said quietly, "I'm not a free woman, Jose." "What do you mean?" "I was married," she said, "to someone cruel. I ran away. I thought he'd never find me." Jose didn't ask anything more. He just nodded. "Then stay. Here, you'll be safe." For the first time in a long time, Alejandra smiled, a real smile, small but pure. That night, as Jose walked past the old mattress in the corner of the room, he paused and looked at it differently. It wasn't a reminder of loss anymore. It was the reason he had found her. And maybe that was the real treasure his father had hidden all along. It had been weeks since Damaris walked out of Jose's life. He no longer waited for her calls. The silence that used to hurt now felt like peace. Every morning, Alejandra helped in the kitchen, quietly humming songs from another time. She moved carefully, like someone who was still learning what it meant to be safe. And Jose? He had begun to smile again, but peace rarely lasts long in a world that runs on greed. That evening, as Jose fixed a loose window frame, a familiar voice echoed from the gate. "Jose!" He froze. Damaris. She stood there, dressed in luxury, jewelry, makeup, heels that didn't belong to this house. Her eyes scanned the place with the same coldness he remembered. "I came to talk about the divorce," she said flatly. Jose nodded. "Come in." Alejandra, standing in the corner, stepped back silently. Damaris's tone was sharp, almost defensive. "I've made up my mind. I want the divorce papers signed today." Jose kept his voice calm. "That's fine. But there's one condition," she added, crossing her arms. "I want the mattress." He blinked. "The same mattress you threw away?" "Yes," she said quickly. "I need it. I have nowhere to sleep." Her lie was too clean, too fast. Jose sighed. "If that mattress gives you peace, take it. But only after we sign the papers." She smiled faintly. "Deal." As she turned to leave, Alejandra's voice broke the silence. "Some things aren't worth taking back," she said gently. Damaris glanced at her with disdain. "And who are you?" Jose stepped between them. "She's a friend." "A friend?" Damaris laughed. "Looks more like your replacement." Jose didn't answer. He didn't need to. His silence said enough. When Damaris left, Alejandra sighed. "She's not done yet, is she?" Jose shook his head. "No, greed never leaves quietly." Later that night, Damaris met her friend at a small cafe downtown. The woman, her voice dripping with cynicism, whispered, "I told you that mattress must be worth more than gold. The old man hid money there. Everyone knows it." Damaris clenched her fists. "Then we'll get it back tomorrow. I'll sign the divorce, take the mattress, and this time I'll make sure it never leaves my sight." Her friend smirked. "Just don't make another mistake. You already lost once." The next morning, Jose brewed coffee as sunlight poured through the kitchen window. Alejandra placed a tray of cookies on the counter, smiling softly. "I haven't baked in years," she said. "It feels good to create something again." Jose laughed quietly. "You're full of surprises." Before he could say more, a knock came at the door. Damaris. This time she came holding the divorce papers. Her voice was steady. "Let's end this." They both signed in silence. No tears, no goodbyes, just the sound of a pen finishing a chapter. "You can take the mattress," Jose said simply. "It's all yours." Damaris smirked. "It's the least you could do." As she dragged it away with the help of her friend, Alejandra whispered to Jose, "Do you think she knows?" Jose looked out the window, watching the car disappear. "Yes," he said, "but she'll only realize what she lost when it's too late." That evening, in a dimly lit apartment, Damaris and her friend cut open the old mattress. The knife sliced through the fabric, dust flying everywhere, and then bundles of cash spilled onto the floor. They both gasped. "Oh my God," Damaris whispered. "It's real. We're rich." Her friend clapped, laughing. "You did it!" But as she picked up one of the bills, her laughter died. The money felt strange, too smooth, too light. She held it to the light. Her face changed. This is fake." "What?" Damaris grabbed a handful, turning it over, scanning the bills. Every one of them printed, lifeless, counterfeit. "No," she screamed. "It can't be. This was supposed to be real." Her friend shook her head slowly. "He played you, Damaris. He knew you'd come back." Damaris fell to her knees, surrounded by paper dreams. She buried her face in her hands, sobbing. "I had it once, the real money, and I threw it away." Her friend's voice was cold. "You didn't just throw away money, you threw away love, respect, everything." Damaris looked up, eyes red. "Then I'll make them pay. Him, his father, that woman." But her voice trembled, even as she spoke, because deep down, she knew. The only person she'd ever really fought was herself. Back at Jose's house, Alejandra sat on the porch, her hands around a cup of tea. Jose joined her, quiet for a moment. "She's gone," Alejandra said softly. He nodded. "And maybe now, so is the curse that came with that mattress." She smiled faintly. "Maybe your father's test wasn't just for her." Jose looked at her, eyes thoughtful. "Maybe it was for me too, to remind me what really matters." "And what's that?" she asked. He smiled gently, knowing that someone can lose everything and still choose kindness. As the night settled, the old mattress lay forgotten once more, torn, empty, but somehow still carrying the weight of all their lessons. Because in the end, greed destroys what love once built, and what remains is what money can never buy. The night had fallen quiet. The storm of greed had passed, but something still lingered in the air. It wasn't peace, not yet. It was the silence that comes right before a new beginning. Jose Daniel sat alone in his father's study, staring at the old, torn mattress resting in the corner. For a long time, it had been a symbol of everything he'd lost: his marriage, his pride, his trust. But now, it had become something else. A reminder that wealth means nothing if the heart holding it is empty. As he traced his hand over the rough fabric, a memory of his father's voice echoed in his mind. "Money can buy comfort, son, but kindness builds a life worth living." He finally understood. When he walked back into the living room, Alejandra was there, arranging flowers she'd picked from the garden. Her movements were soft, careful, almost sacred. She turned and smiled when she saw him. "You're quiet," she said. "I was just thinking," Jose replied, "about how strange life is. I lost everything chasing one kind of treasure, and somehow found another." Alejandra tilted her head. "And what kind is that?" "The kind that doesn't fade when the lights go out," he said. She laughed softly. "Then you've already found it." But before the warmth of the moment could settle, a knock shattered the peace. 3 sharp knocks, heavy, impatient. Jose opened the door. There stood a man with hard eyes and a scar running down his cheek. Alejandra froze. The color drained from her face. "Paul," she whispered. The man smiled, the kind of smile that hides cruelty behind charm. Well, he said, You've changed. New clothes, new house, new man." Jose frowned. "Who are you?" "I'm her husband," Paul said coldly. "At least I was." Alejandra stepped back. "You were never my husband. You were my prison." Paul's jaw tightened. "You ran away, took everything from me." She laughed bitterly. "You mean I took back my freedom?" Paul stepped forward, his hand brushing the gun at his belt. "You'll come home with me. Now." Jose moved between them. "She's not going anywhere." Paul's eyes flicked to him. "You think you can stop me? You don't even know who you're dealing with." "I don't need to," Jose said. "I just know I'm not letting you hurt her again." For a tense moment, the room filled with silence. Alejandra's hands shook. Jose stood firm. Then Vicente appeared in the doorway, calm and unafraid. "You've made a mistake, son," the old man said to Paul. "This house doesn't belong to cruelty." Paul laughed mockingly. "And who are you?" "The butler." Vicente smiled faintly. "No, I'm the man who's seen too many like you. Rich in anger, poor in soul." Before Paul could react, the police arrived. Vicente had already called them, sensing trouble from the moment Paul's car stopped outside. The officers shouted, "Drop the weapon!" Paul froze, then slowly raised his hands. As they cuffed him, he glared at Alejandra. "You'll regret this." She didn't flinch this time. "I already regretted staying," she said quietly. The door closed behind him, and the air felt lighter, as if years of fear had just been lifted away. Alejandra collapsed to her knees, trembling. Jose rushed to her side, holding her close. "It's over," he whispered. "He can't hurt you anymore." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I've never been safe before. I don't know how to live like this." Jose smiled gently. "Then we'll learn together." Days later, Vicente returned from a short trip. He found Jose and Alejandra baking cookies in the kitchen, laughter echoing through the once silent house. The old man leaned against the doorway, a smile tugging at his lips. "I see the storm finally passed," he said. Jose looked up and left something better behind. Vicente nodded. "The treasure, perhaps." Jose chuckled. "Not the kind you can hide in a mattress." Alejandra placed a tray on the counter and joined them. Vicente studied her quietly. "You were the one who gave the mattress back, weren't you?" She nodded. "Yes." He smiled. "Then I suppose this family owes you more than you'll ever know." Alejandra shook her head. "You don't owe me anything. I just did what was right." Vicente's eyes softened. "And that, my dear, is the rarest treasure of all." That evening, the three of them sat outside, watching the sunset paint the sky in gold and rose. The house was quiet, peaceful, the kind of peace that doesn't come from wealth, but from healing. Jose turned to Alejandra. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you hadn't found that mattress?" She smiled. "I think life would have found another way to bring us here. The universe doesn't make mistakes. It just gives second chances in strange wrapping." He laughed softly. "An old mattress?" She nodded. "Exactly." As twilight settled, Vicente's voice broke the silence once more, gentle, steady, full of truth. People spend their lives looking for gold, power, comfort, but the real treasure is invisible. It lives in the hands that give, in the hearts that forgive, and in the courage to start over. Alejandra leaned her head on Jose's shoulder, her eyes reflecting the last light of day, and for the first time in years, she felt it. Not fear, not uncertainty, but home. Because love didn't come from wealth, or fate, or even luck. It came from two broken souls who chose kindness over everything else. And that was the real treasure all along. Sometimes the universe hides blessings inside broken things. An old mattress, a painful memory, a stranger's kindness. What you give in love never truly leaves you. It just waits to return as something greater.